115, 113. And Steve Weisfeld has it. 115, 113. All 115, 113. And Steve Weisfeld has it. 115, 113. All three scores go to the winner by unanimous decision. From Omaha, Nebraska, USA, he is the new WBA Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Terence Crawford.
Welcome to Watch the Fight Boxing Talk. This video is about Terence Crawford's victory over Israil Madrimov. Some people thought it was a draw. Some people thought Crawford lost. Personally, I think Crawford won. But y'all comment below and tell me who you think won and why. Congratulations to Crawford for winning this fight though. He won the WBA World Super Welterweight title and he won the interim WBO World Super Welterweight title too. He looked pretty good for his first fight in a higher weight class as the challenger to a world champion. First and foremost though, shout out to both fighters for stepping into the ring because showing up is half the battle. So big ups to both fighters for putting their safety on the line and performing their best on that night. I call this the battle of distinguished gentlemen because both fighters were waiting for the other one to punch. It seemed like Madrimov learned from Spence's mistakes and didn't try to pressure Crawford or stand in front of him for too long. Overall, the fight was lackluster because Crawford didn't deliver another masterful performance as he did in his last fight against Spence. I think expectations were high for Crawford in this fight after coming off such a monumental and historic win, so it was kind of disappointing for some fans that wanted to see him in Ultra Instinct again. Crawford went the full 12 rounds for the first time in 8 years, and he didn't seem to have that same fatal power that he had at 147. And I think 147 may be his best weight class so far. It looks like 154 is going to be his peak. This fight, though, was kind of boring to watch for a lot of thrill-seeking fans because neither one of them were clear aggressors. Crawford is naturally a counterpuncher, so he waited and searched for opportunities to counter, but that didn't happen very often because Madrimov was very patient and cautious. Plus, he was waiting for his own opportunities to counterpunch too. But Crawford was pretty defensively sound all night. Here's what they did right. Crawford fought defensively, and he used the ring perfectly in my opinion. He moved around the ring expertly so Madrimov couldn't maintain a good striking range or find a lot of opportunities to land punches. But he also didn't move a lot, so he didn't waste extra energy, which was good. At some points, he would plant and then brace for Madrimov's punches, and he would block them or counter them and move. Also, Crawford picked his shots pretty well, I'd say, and countered effectively most of the time, and he let his hands go more than Madrimov. And he even focused on body shots as well. What Madrimov did right was being patient. He was absolutely patient and cautious of Crawford's counterpunching skill. Madrimov bounced around like a bobblehead and one of those wacky waving inflatable arm men, and that made it harder for Crawford to strike him or figure out his rhythm. I'm surprised Madrimov didn't burn himself out, and although it was annoying, Madrimov used his clinch wisely when he needed to slow down the pace. Madrimov also picked his shots pretty well, and he landed a lot of impressive right hands. What they both did right was tuning out the crowd. I think the crowd started to boo after round 2, and booing can throw fighters off their game and make them desperate. That makes it super dangerous for fighters who lets that affect them. But both fighters tuned the crowd out, and they stayed focused on their game plan, which kept them safe. Here's what Crawford did wrong. He didn't attack as much as he could have. Being the more experienced fighter, I thought he would change gears more and even switch stances maybe. But he played it safe and stayed in his counterpunching bag. He did let his hands go from time to time, especially in the championship rounds. What Madrimov did wrong, though, was he didn't let his hands go enough. He would get in front of Crawford, but he wouldn't attack. He would bounce and search for openings. Overall, though, a lot of people thought that Madrimov won, or at least tied. Even my girl thought the fight should have been a draw at least, if not go to Madrimov. I thought the fight was extremely close, and it was very boring to score this fight because they were so cautious and patient and reserved. But even so, I had Crawford edging out most of the rounds. I do admit, though, a lot of the rounds were close, but I didn't really see many clear Madrimov rounds aside from 8 and maybe a few others. At the post-fight press conference, Crawford didn't show much interest in a Spence rematch, but let's see if fate brings them back together at 154 in the near future. Crawford and Madrimov showed each other respect, and they took pictures outside together, and Crawford even gave Madrimov some uplifting words. Many people, including myself, are not as interested in the Crawford versus Canelo fight after seeing this performance because Crawford looked more human and less supernatural at 154, so we can already imagine what 168 would look like for him. His right eye even started to swell before they even got halfway through the fight, and Madrimov was able to absorb his punches the whole fight without any concern of being stopped. I'd rather see Crawford fight Charlo instead of Canelo at this point, but all the best to Crawford. Congratulations to the new WBA super welterweight world champion. I'm proud of him and I wish him all the best. All right, y'all. Comment below and let me know what y'all think. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch y'all on the next one.